Hello, Frugal friends, and welcome to the channel. Today I have a video smack full of some fun stuff, including a small haul from the grocery store, a trip to the thrift store where I found some great deals, and I never go thrifting. And I'm going to take you around a small Kansas town that you would love to live in. I've shared a little bit of Kansas with you this summer, and several of you have said that you enjoyed it and you would like to see more. So I hope you enjoy this video. So last night I thought, man, a pizza sure sounds good, but I don't have a pizza, and it is 22 miles each way to get a pizza from where I live. And I thought, what do I have where I could make a pizza? Well, I picked up some of these cheap biscuits like we used to get off and on when I was a kid. I think they were four for $1 then. Now they are still $1 or a little bit less depending on where you get them. They're $1 at Dollar General. And I decided I was going to make my crust out of the biscuits, and I was going to use some sauce that I had, some pepperoni that I had, some cheese that I had, and some of my homemade Italian seasoning on top. And I made my own delicious frugal pizza without leaving the house. The nice part about making my pizza with those biscuits as the crust is it was kind of like one of those garlicky pull apart breads. The pizza parts just pulled apart on the biscuit, and I didn't even have to use a pizza cutter. I was also able to get a few more things decluttered out of my home and donated this week, and it felt really good. I had some Halloween items, I had a mug, and I had some little tiny candle holders that had a Christmas theme. So I hope whoever they go to that they enjoy them because I wasn't using them. I also took a little road trip, and I thought while I'm here, I'm going to share this with my frugal friends. The town is Sterling, Kansas, and it is such a gorgeous little town. It has so many things to offer. It was originated in 1872, and it has some fabulous architecture throughout the town. I just love this little stone fence that I found and some of these very historic looking houses. And I even found this unusual looking house with a historical marker in the front yard. So I had to check it out. It says at this location on April 12th, 1861, absolutely nothing happened. Someone has a sense of humor, and they got me to get out of my car. Sterling has its own lake right in the middle of town with their park. They have a splash pad there as well that is totally free. They also have a swimming pool. They have two little adorable bridges that you can walk over. They have covered picnic seating. They have a playground. It is just an oasis right in the middle of town. And it also has a campground right there for you to stay, along with a bed and breakfast lake house that you can stay at. So I was just so excited to find this little jewel right in the middle of Sterling, Kansas. I think this would be a great little getaway to take our RV. There was a guy down by the lake. He was fishing. And I thought, wow, it's just right here in the middle of town. And it feels like you're in the middle of a county park, but it's right there in the city. And you've got the grocery store like a block away. It's just absolutely darling. But with all of this to offer, I was impressed with finding a little resale shop there in the center of town. I usually don't go into resale shops, but I had a little bit of extra time and I thought I'm going to go in and I'm going to look and I'm going to see what this resale shop is for. A lot of times when you find them in small towns, they either go to the hospital auxiliary or something like that. And I asked the lady at the counter, and she said it actually went to a daycare, a portion of it, and it also went to help community members who needed help. They had a community pantry in there of diapers, adult briefs, soap, shampoo, toothbrushes. You were allowed to take one item if you were in need. They also had free Bibles that you can take, and everything was reasonably priced and very clean. So I'm not much of a thrifter, but look at this cute little sweater that I found at the thrift store for $2.50. It's thin and it has long enough sleeves for me. And I got rid of a bunch of things this year that didn't fit me. So I had extra money in my clothing budget to pick up this. So I would say I had a pretty successful little shop today. I picked up this loaf of bread for only $1.15 on markdown. These chips were $1.99 to go with the salsa that I made. I have a bag of apples for $3.99. I found this ranch dressing marked down to $1.75 that's family size, and it's only good till the end of October, but we will have it gone by then for sure. And then I also have these little sausages that I picked up for my husband for breakfast because he uses this every day, $3.49. Now, the reason I say this was a good deal, well, he takes veggies every day with ranch dip. That's why we go through the ranch dip so fast. I don't eat much of it unless I have a salad. But the reason I say I had such a good deal today is if you look at my receipt here, I had $3 off from rewards points. It was senior day. I didn't even realize it. Another $1.59 off. So that's $4.59. So that only cost me $11.59 altogether. So I was pretty pleased with that little shop. That made a lot of that free. And then I stopped by this little thrift store and I saw these adorable vintage looking casserole dishes in mint condition. They're microwave safe, they're oven safe, and they're dishwasher safe. I don't have a dishwasher. But when I went to check out, the lady at the cashier, she said, "Hey, these are Pioneer Woman dishes." Well, that didn't mean anything to me, but I looked it up and these are very expensive casserole dishes. Even at Walmart, they're expensive. And I'm going to put the price up here on the screen so you can see. But look what I paid for them. $4 and $4. Now, I didn't need them, but these will work great for the holidays, and I can just bake them and store everything right in these dishes, and I just love the vintage look, so I couldn't pass them up. These are some of the things I love about frugal living. So I can take a little road trip. I can afford to do that because I'm frugal in other areas. I can afford to stop by the thrift store, pick up some things that I didn't plan on buying, and I can afford to do that because I save in other areas. Now, this isn't something I do all the time, but if I do it once in a great while, I don't feel guilty about it because I know I have the money. Just like I said earlier in the video, I've been decluttering. I've been selling some things on eBay. I have a clothing budget of about $11 a month. And I usually build that up to buy something. But everything I sell on eBay, I put that extra money after postage and everything of mailing it, I put it back in my clothing budget. And that has actually covered my entire clothing budget for the year already. And I have some extra dollars in there. So when I find something very inexpensive like that, I can pick it up no problem. I'm already ahead for the year on my clothing budget. And then when it comes to little things like those dishes, I really don't have stuff like that. I have a metal pan or two, but I don't really have any nice casserole dishes. And for $4 and they're in mint condition, I can splurge and get a couple of those things. Yes, I've been decluttering. Yes, I'm trying to get things out of my house, but I don't bring things in at the rate that I take things out. And I've been very careful not to bring very much in over the last several years. I've just been focusing on getting things out. I don't do the one in, one out. I do more like the 300 things out and two things in. So I'm still very, very inspired and diligent about not bringing things into my house. And a lot more goes out than what it comes in. Let me know in the comments below. Do you do things like this? Do you stop and splurge a little bit here and there, but you have the money saved back so you know you're going to be okay? I think most of us that watch this channel do. A lot of people are struggling with making ends meet. But once you get to be our age and you have retired and you have become debt free, a few dollars like this once or twice a year is not going to blow anybody's budget because we save more than we spend. And I think as a whole, most of us that are frugal in this age group do that. We save more than we spend. And when we do save, we save for something big to spend it on. So a few of these little dollars here and there, yes, they can add up if you go crazy and do this every week, but I don't. I think I've been in a thrift store twice this year. So no, I don't go crazy with thrift shopping. I know a lot of people love thrift shopping, but I find it a dangerous place for me to be. So I just don't let myself go in there generally. But I really wanted to know what this store's proceeds went to. And it really inspired me to spend a little bit of money when I was in there today. I love it when I see people helping people like that thrift shop was doing. So I really wanted to talk about them today on this video and share that with you. So many times we hear so much negative stuff in the news and even on social media. And sometimes we don't hear enough of the good stuff that is happening behind the scenes. Kansas has a lot of good things going for it, as I'm sure many of the states do. We have a lot of small towns that have a lot of things to offer where the community is really strong. And I wanted to feature that here today. I hope you've enjoyed this video and this little look into Sterling, Kansas and my frugal week. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more content like this, and I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up or even hype the video if you enjoyed it that much. And I hope to see you in the next one.